What's up, everyone? This is Pony Lover 1989, and to continue my talk of anime, I'm gonna tell it there's different types of genres. There's action, there's adventure, there's sci-fi, the ones that take place in the distant future, and some that take place in a post-apocalyptic future, and some that are rom-coms, some that are just romance, drama, comedy, and slice of life. You know, this type of narratives where it takes place in a recognizable everyday setting like a school, or in which they focus on human relationships that are often romantic in nature, and it also favors the emotional ties with the characters. The popularity of slice of life started to increase in the 80s. Masayuki Nishida described that slice of life in manga and anime still involve elements of fantasy or fantastic world, but fantasy sometimes used to mean to express the reality of the human beings under certain possible conditions. The subgenre of slice of life in anime and manga is the air type, or in Japanese, kukike, or your everyday type, or in Japanese, nichijou. It is describing the deep personal relationships or a fully fledged romantic relationship, or deliberately eliminated from the story in order to tell the light and non-serious story that focuses people on their everyday lives and conversations of girls, the bishoujo characters. It relies on a specificity of the place, as well as peace, heartwarming, and sensitive daily lives. It came out of the Yonkobo manga, which is known as the 4-strip manga. It includes works like Azumanga Daioh, Lucky Star, K-On!, and even Hidamari Sketch, even Nichijou, and many other types of slice of life anime. It basically involves exaggerated versions of the unconventionalized expressions of the medium, and such as white circles for their eyes in times of trouble, shining vibrant big eyes to depict overflowing emotion, sweat drops, animal teeth, or even simplistic human rendering. Sometimes in slice of life slice of life is when you talk about topics in your everyday lives at school, like what your favorite food is, your favorite video games, manga, what you do in the game world, and basically the other types that you do in real life, and other basically activities in the real world that you can do. Okay, continuing on. Other than slice of life, there's historical, which take place way back then, some that take place in the feudal era, and there's mystery, which involves solving crimes and solving mysteries, and also there's horror. And despite despite Pokemon is a TV show for kids, there's a bunch of anime TV shows that are for teens and adults also, which contain a bit of graphical cartoonish blood, especially in horror and mystery genres. And I gotta say, there's also blood in dark fantasy genres. I forgot to tell you, there's also a dark fantasy genre. What I like is that the cartoonish blood is pretty much also pretty realistic, almost realistic, and it's really amazing. And most of all, other than watching the episodes, is the opening themes and the ending themes with the opening intro and the ending cut and the ending animation. It's basically the animation is amazing. And basically, Let's talk about YouTube poops. YouTube poops are a type of video mashup or the edit created by remixing or editing a pre-existing media source, often carried by subcultural significance, into a new video for humorous, satirical, obscene, profanity, or as well as annoying, confusing, scary, shocking, surreal, and dramatic purposes. They usually upload it on YouTube. And there's basically a bunch of YouTube poops out there. Some that are Mario animated Deke TV shows from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, or cutscenes from the Philips CDI games like Hotel Mario, Link the Faces of Evil, and Zelda the Wand of Gamelon. And even I Am Mean. Some people back then, like Boogity Boo and the Chairman 45, have been making a bunch of Robotnik YouTube poops, and they're pretty much also enjoyable to watch. Media sources also include TV shows, movies, live-action TV shows, adult animated sitcoms like Family Guy, The Simpsons, American Dad, even Rick and Morty. There's anime, there's cartoons, commercials, video games, and viral videos, especially the ones that are viral on the internet and in real world, and internet memes. And then there's dank memes. And then there's a bunch of tennis videos where you had to how they exist and where the pooper is sometimes used as underlying work with another video that can be recirculated and named to how they exist in different types of rounds. And then there's music videos making remixes of the scenes they come up with. I gotta tell you, there's Robotnik YouTube poops, there's SpongeBob YouTube poops, but they changed the name into Spinchbill to avoid copyright infringement and copyright claim from Viacom. And there's the My Little Pony YouTube poops, I know there's barely any Pokemon YouTube poops. There's a bunch of anime YouTube poops too. Anyway, there's lots, they even make up lots of editing, such as like repeating the loop of a favorite line on a scene. Then there's sentence mixing, where they make the characters say what they want to say. There's profanity from viral videos and memes. There's sex jokes and there's puns. And then there's ear rape. You're listening to a nice soothing sound, right? And then all of a sudden, bam, all of a sudden the volume gets up and it was blaring out like it's gonna damage your ears. I know it affected on a bunch of headphone users who were watching this. It never bothered me that much. There's sometimes no ear rape in YouTube poops, and there's sometimes ear rape in YouTube poops. Sometimes ear rape appeared in a bunch of Gmod and Source filmmakers too. Other than watching my favorite YouTube poops, I also watch funny Gmod and Source filmmaker videos. The ones that involve Team Fortress 2, Half-Life, Left 4 Dead, or even the video game that I haven't played before called Splatoon. I gotta say, I wanted to try out the game called Team Fortress 2, and let me tell you, the character classes like the heavy weapons guy, the scout, the soldier, the spy, the demo man, the engineer, the sniper, and even the medic say the most hilarious lines in the game, especially in a player versus player video game created by Valve. And there's a bunch of YouTubers who are also a bunch of people who played Splatoon on the Nintendo Wii U and the sequel for Nintendo Switch. They were called Splattubers, and there were a bunch of OCs that look like Inklings, and I gotta say, Splatoon takes place in a in a post-apocalyptic future, I think, and it depicts a bunch of characters, cephalopodic creatures known as the Inklings and Octolings. They were based on squids and octopuses, respectively, that transform between the human and the cephalopod at will. And in this game, they frequently engage in turf war battles and splatfests, in battling with each other with a different variety of weapons that produce and shoot colored ink. Or you can even swim and hide in surfaces in your cephalopod form in your own ink. It was really amazing. It was a really good game to play. There were a bunch of Splatoon Gmod videos that were made by Lizzie the Rat Sickle 15 and there's Geoff Craze, Alex Spider, and even Retro to Modern, who formerly known as Omega. And that it was amazing to see what and it was amazing. Even the Squid Sisters music is even catchy too. Other than that, also, it was pretty good. It's really amazing. And also, I like to talk to you about my favorite cartoon called The Care Bears Family. It was released in the 1980s. That was produced by Nelvana Entertainment, and I think it takes place after the events of the first two movies. And basically, the second movie tells the origin story about how the Care Bears family had been formed. And basically, Season 2 and Season 3 only had the main characters like Champ, Brightheart, Treeheart, and Cheer, who are called the Chair Squad. And yeah, it was pretty okay, despite it. They were going with a friendship is magic sort of thing. Anyway, Season 1 added development to all the characters, the Care Bears and the Care Bear cousins, with issues such as conflict and depression being addressed through the characters themselves in episodes. And it even gives the development and personality of those characters, especially the entire Care Bear family. So, yeah. And anyway, this is all I need to tell you about anime, Gmod, YouTube poop, and also my favorite cartoon from the 1980s. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you like what you want me to talk about, or more stuff that involves anything, all you have to do is post down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This is Pony Lover 1989 signing off.